Hello, and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called 15 Million Foreclosures and Evictions. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be updated every time we upload a new episode. Now, let's get started. At some point in the near future, it is estimated that 15 million people will be foreclosed or evicted. That is such a staggering number that most people simply cannot process it. It's too stunning. We've looked into it, and here's what we forecast will happen when these people all get kicked out of their homes. First of all, a small percentage of them will be lucky enough to be able to move in with family or friends. Those are the luckiest ones, but that'll be a small percentage. Here's what happens to many of the rest of them. Some of them will try applying to other apartment complexes, but many of them will be turned down for not making their prior rent or mortgage payments on time. Some of them may find an apartment to live in, but we suspect that the landlords will force them to pay extremely large deposits and much higher monthly rent payments to compensate them for the added risk of renting to somebody who hasn't been making their mortgage payment or their rent payment for the last year at their prior home. A lot of desperate people will try to purchase or rent campers or trailers, which will be very challenging to live in, but it's better than living on the streets. The problem is that there is already so much demand for campers and trailers that their prices are already skyrocketing and getting worse. Just imagine what happens to the price of campers and trailers when millions of people suddenly try attempting to purchase one. They're going to skyrocket. We suspect that campgrounds will also try to convert themselves to some sort of short-term stay complexes for the homeless, but that will be unaffordable for a lot of people. We also suspect that if the government doesn't come up with some sort of financial aid for these homeless people, maybe a rent credit program of some sort, then they will just start living on the streets with all the other homeless people. Let's assume that a third of this 15 million end up being homeless. What will happen when you put an extra 5 million Americans on the streets and they become homeless? Well, there is no city or state in the country that can accommodate or support that many homeless people all at once. They would have to be somewhat distributed amongst the rest of the states and cities. Let's say that you distributed 5 million homeless Americans amongst the top 100 largest cities in the US. That means that each of those top 100 cities would suddenly receive 50,000 homeless people. Los Angeles already has 60,000 homeless, and they're everywhere. Imagine if you suddenly double the number of homeless in that city. Imagine if you drop 50,000 homeless people in 100 cities across the country, and the finances and infrastructure of those cities simply began to implode because they couldn't afford it. I doubt if 10% of those cities could suddenly afford, to take in 50,000 homeless people. What do you think would happen to the crime? What do you think would happen to the school systems in those cities? What do you think would happen to the health problems, the mental problems, the emotional problems of these people once they've been on the street for more than a week or two and had to live in the rain, the snow, the heat, the cold, or when they get robbed by other homeless people or drug addicts? What about their kids? What happens psychologically to a child that's living in an apartment one week and the next week they're living in dad's car? This is going to be a humanitarian nightmare. Let's hope the government comes up with a solution quickly. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. Please like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great shows coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Thank you, and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.